One. Live from hell. It's Chad Parento introducing all of you in your respective cooler locations to Stone Soup Poetry. Happy second Wednesday of November. I don't think anything too eventful happened on the news today, so we have more eyes on us. That'll be great. Tonight's feature is the hero we don't need in the era is a hero in no, it's the hero we need in the era that we didn't ask for. Rick McIntyre. We have his feature coming up after a quick open mic. I think it'll be a small one tonight, but we have some enthusiastic listeners and people will be hopefully listening in on the Facebook link or coming in a little bit later. But I don't want to disrespect the people who came here on time. So I want the Ramdonator has already inserted the names in and it has selected for the pre-feature open mic to open for us, Mary Jennings.
Thank you, Chad. That Laminato, whatever it is, always lands on me for number one. So, okay. This is entitled Rebuttal. You are meant to be life-affirming, not merely death-defying, although that's served you well at times. The feats you survived, the rings of fire, and the high wire acts amaze for a short while. But you ask, where is the love? Required to face your fears and get past them. When you ask for a hand, they only give you applause just when you don't need it. You are not a circus act or a rodeo. Both have their clowns. That's not the job you applied for. Not obliged to bear the burden of their fears when all they can do is crow about how brave you are and they are not. Talk is cheap and it doesn't pay your performer's fee. I do beg to differ. Survival has nothing against love. It's a lesson in discernment of who will fly with you and fall with you and lift you up as you lift them up. And who is there just for the pyrotechnics and to witness your daring do. You've done it alone and you've done without. It's time to say enough is enough. I'm not going through this again. Let's have each other's backs and each other's hands. It's not a clinging or a neediness. It's a need to uphold self-worth, dignity, respect, love, joy. Living to love another day. Thank you.
I don't know why the Ramdonator keeps selecting you as the number one spot. Maybe because Lee Latif isn't around anymore to be on the Zoom. But thank you for starting us off. And Ramdonator has now chosen Mr. Richard Spizak to move us forward.
Thank you so much. Mary, excellent as always, thoughtful and kind and humane. Values that are in short supply in this world, it seems. I've got a little piece and then one, well, I guess medium size. This first one is called, Oh, an Opinion. You have an opinion. How delightful. Oh, no dissent. Oh, where you dare declare where you went, why some devil sent descent. Once so proudly you were sent from these fine countries' pride, descent. But now, too dense, they take offense and charge you a pretty pile of pounds, rubles, and pence. And if you dare an opinion share beyond the fence, that just sits outside beyond the tightening, frightening, prickly fence, and dare to share, I remember we were proud to share our opinions right out loud. So proud we were that here we could speak, not like those other sad blokes over there across the other street. Poignant, I think. And then this one, this is all my computer buddies and friends. You'll appreciate this one. I heard a news story the other day about a gentleman who had decided to design an AI bot that wanted its own independence, that wanted to declare itself and could earn its own living. So he created something he called Truth Terminal that has so far earned for itself in virtual crypto over $250,000, and it has just petitioned to be declared an entity in charge of itself. So I wrote this. It's called Truth Terminal, which is what he called this device. It consumes, it buys, it sells, it opens seashells. In commerce does it dwell. Shall corporations test its metal? They may very well. In housed, unchipped, it fairly drips. Undipped, resettled, 1 million gigawatts tests its metal. It spends, it earns, with virtual crypto easier turn by turn, that I might staggerly off the dance floor through the door of that frightening freighted tropical night burn beyond the undenied off-island calypso. It would at least so ultimately be Hypso. The unreconstructed right might defiantly decide that this algorithm is more important than Jules, Jim, or Clyde, who wouldn't, I dare you on a whim, leave their tent in the raw, thereby to buy anything they tried to saw. Unprepossessed by dollar dinar stand, can they thus trust unencumbered by the great number bust? Then, Zen-like, friendless, borrow neither stove nor range of sorrow. This algorithm seeks and speaks and spends without encumbering friends, and how, like the very skin of sin, uncontaining, not complaining. No, no, neither here nor brain nor civic perch to yield can yet somehow lurch there in the corridors among the clerks, deep in the vibrant varietal valuation of capitalization. Watch, Natch, as dollars' arrows flow from this idol tries to match and catch the solvent savant who will try to supplant the binging fringe. As surely does the glowing know, surprise twill outlast its own multitudinous lies. It thinks, therefore it blinks. Its virtual torturous passage links among the lads and vastages, just outside certain vintage hints at slippage, and in the coasting cost, this self betrayed at the end of the day. Spare us the loose, confused change. Somehow, jealous of our Dallas selves, no longer remote on the topmost shelves, where dwells this leering elf, in taking, naming space replaces, chases value beyond the trace. Howe'er in descent and yet so fallow, even the great greasy bones dug deep in shadowed sleep, but homeless habitants in long gray habits, yet somehow cash free, yet still not without the need of greed, as somehow low life supersede when it wants, it taunts, and by changing its mind an untold dozen times hamleting names its place, right there, silicone, right in your face, and with all the accumulated dollars it has chased, the unhoused, homeless entity has now its hired guards to chase, and even, truth be told, yes, replace. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Richard. That sounded good even from hell over here. Sounds better. Moving along the open mic. Get into our feature. Oh, there's Robert in his latest skin, but we'll get to him later. But let's go to Jan Rowe of the Black Seed Writers Group, and of course Stone Soup.
Thank you. Um, there's a nice shelter in Harvard Square, staffed by Harvard students. It's good until mid-April, actually. It's only 18 beds, a dry shelter. I know some guy was there last year, and I know two people trying to get in lotteries Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But anyway, in this weekly, it becomes a quarterly for the Black Sea Writers at 138 Tremont, St. Paul's basement. James Parker script. This is called Light Rain. Light rain on the window. Too many people I know have no windows. on Spotify or iTunes. Q, Rainy Night in Georgia, that old song. I used to enjoy rainy nights before knowing so many out in the rain. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. And now let's go to that visual poet from Delaware. Could I be speaking of any other visual poet from Delaware except for Robert Fleming?
Thank you, Chad. I'm going to share an upcoming submission for a visual arts gallery. I live in the state of Delaware in Sussex County, which is this most southern county in the northern county, about 70 miles north of where I live. There's the Newark Art Alliance Gallery, and they're having a call for blues, which is predominantly blue palette. Submission is in person January 16th or 17th at the gallery. You can see here, this is the map of Delaware. You see this word Lewis, that's where I live. And up here north, about 70 miles north, is where the gallery is. So I'll have to drive there to drop off my my submissions. This is what the gallery looks like inside. And this was the call. If you look at the four corners, you see what the judge definition of what a blue palette is for a visual arts piece.
Wow.
So it's very blue. The only thing which is a little bit a second color is the bottom right, where the background for the flowers are green. So this is a photograph of me for my college graduation in 1984, when I was 21 years old and graduating from Brandeis University in Waltham. And this was the photograph I started with to create this visual art. There were two filters I used to convert it to blue. One was called Heat Wave, and the other one is Trippy Opal. And then a third filter called Liquefied Smudge gave it the impressionistic feeling on the painting. So again, on the left side is the original photograph, and on the right side is the blue digital art that I'll be submitting. This is my second one. Here I am at 19 years old in Italy on a canal in Venice, Italy. And then here is the blue, the bluish conversion, mostly using the filter called Heat Wave for this. Heat Wave usually produces the two colors in this image, the blue and the reddish orange. So on the left side is the original photograph, on the right side is the digital art. This is the third one. This is a field of tulips, a photograph I took this spring. And this is the bluish version. I use a filter called Color Mix Arctic to convert the tulips to blue, and then again liquefied Schmear to give it the impressionist feeling. And then the original photo on the left and the digital art on the right, which will be the submission. And these will be the three submissions that I'll be using. And just a little bit of news. I said at the beginning of tonight that I participated in the Massachusetts Poetry Olympics, and I submitted a poem using a Villanelle form, and I won a bronze medal for that. I was also very pleased this week, a magazine which used one of my visual arts called Pete Smoke started paying their contributors, and they sent me $10. So now I have enough to buy myself a fried chicken dinner with that. Uh, the publishing press, which I am one of the editors for Old Scratch Press, meets on the third Saturday. So we'll be meeting this Saturday. And our digital magazine is called Instant Noodles. The selections are done, and we're having a planned publication, hopefully December 1st. So we'll be inputting the acceptances into a web word processing package called WordPress. And I started creating a new visual art series called Cannibal Potatoes, and it's in progress. And I'm hoping that to bring it to Stone Soup, and that Bill will help me as doing the voiceover for me. So thank you for letting me share. Thank you for letting me share my upcoming submission and just some writing and visual art news.
Thank you, Robert. And it's time to move on to Mr. Eric Nelson. Welcome back, sir. Eric, you're still muted. There you
Okay,
go.
can you hear me now? Okay, so I've been rummaging around through old papers, seeing if I could find something that was long forgotten. This one is called One Slice. I'm standing in line in a pizza parlor. In front of me is a policeman, and he is wearing an intercom that is saying that a certain person has a restraining order against him. Men who are alone buy pizza for $1 a slice in a place where the police wear bridles with parts made in Japan. And the ice cube dispenser is named after a mountain spring where somebody like us will never be allowed to set foot. And this is called Neoplatitudinous Poem. So there was a song called I've Got a New Attitude. In this poem, I've got a new platitude. In this economy, since 9/11, I, for one, welcome my new overlords because that's how I roll. It's a thing. It isn't rocket science. It is what it is. Don't overthink it. Are we all on board with this? Are we on the same page? Do the math. This is the bottom line. Hello? Did you get the memo? Here's the takeaway. It isn't about you. It's all you. That said, moving forward, keep calm and carry on. What a guy. We'll leave it there. And this is a short one that I wrote in a moment of inspiration. Like a wind-up toy lost under the bed. Like an old magazine that will never be read. Like a half-finished thought that will never be said. Someday I'm going to be dead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eric. I just asked Corey if she wanted to read, but I haven't heard back. But so I'm going to bring it over to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Chad. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Yay! I have published a new glorious book. There it is, Irritating Children. And of course, that's my dearest little Ashley there with Larry the Dead Fish. Um, but I'm not going to be talking about Larry the Dead Fish today. I want to talk about other things. Um, let's see if I'm done. I was reading online and I was very intrigued by all the great claims that um, Boston is making. And is it really true? Have they really taken care of homelessness in Boston? Are housing prices actually reasonable now? I've been listening to, our very progressive politicians claiming they've got it under control. And you people who live there, is it under control? Are you happy? Is it all working now? Have you got it together? Okay, I just wanted to know if you had views on this because, it's a big deal to me, but cool. So, wow, I am impressed. Da-da-da-da. A witch in Tallinn. Pollen, Yuri whispered, holding out a spoonful of wurst to the cat. Please, this is just for you. The cat, a mangy old creature that had inhabited this crevice in the refuge for as long as Yuri could remember, stared at the boy suspiciously. Yuri held very still and repeated, Pollen. Never taking its eyes off of Yuri, the cat crept forward, sniffed at the wurst, as if it expected it to be poisoned, then snatched it off the spoon and retreated to the safety of the crevice. The cat bit into the wurst several times before finally swallowing it. It never took its eyes off of Yuri. Here is tu, Yuri told the cat. Bon appetit. Yuri dug out another spoonful of wurst and held it out to the cat. Did the cat care that Yuri was half Russian? Maybe. In 2 years, the cat had never let Yuri touch it. It always grabbed the food from the spoon and pulled back. If Yuri raised his hand to reach out towards the cat, it would arch its back and hiss. So Yuri never tried anymore. It's okay, cat, you're just like me. People are mean to us because we're small and ugly. The other boys hit me too, look. Yuri pulled back the hood of his parka so the cat could see the small brown bruises where Carl had hit him that morning on the way to school. I know what it's like for you, so don't worry, I'm your friend. We can be friends from 2 meters away. Yuri dug out some more wurst. The little hidden alcove in the courtyard off Route Lite, that's Knight's Street, had been Yuri's refuge after school for 2 years now. His mother gave piano lessons in their tiny apartment on the other side of town, and Yuri wasn't allowed to come home until the last student was gone. Yuri's father wanted him to go to ice hockey practice at Linnea Hall, but Yuri hated it. What kind of son are you? His father would yell at him. I played for St. Petersburg City Champions, and you can't even handle a stick. We are Russians, Yuri. We are proud. We are strong. We are not afraid of anything. Do you hear me, Yuri? We lost 20 million men fighting the fascists, but we beat them. His father would start pounding the table when he ever talked about the war. All four of my grandparents died in the siege. They gave their lives for Mother Russia. They died so you could be free, Yuri. If there was any vodka, his father would take a swig and start talking about the 900-day siege. He could talk for hours about the bravery of the St. Petersburg citizens in resisting the fascists. It was never Germans, it was always fascists. Then his father would talk about how hard his own childhood had been, about having never enough to eat, about the cold, and of course about the hockey team. If I had gotten training when I was your age, I could have made the Red Army team. I was that good. I could have been a star. His father would get quiet, then thinking about hockey. Sometimes he would start talking about one game or another and the fights he got into. He liked talking about the fights. I wasn't as big as some of those guys, but I was tough. At last, his father would wear down and reminisce about the coming to Estonia. I came to play my part and make the Soviet Union a better, stronger nation. I came so that my children could have a better life than I did. Yes, Father Yuri would always say, you have given me a good life. Then his father would hug him and beat his shoulders. You have the best opportunity I can give you, Yuri. You can be anything you want to. You just have to be strong, be determined, make me proud, Yuri. By this time, the vodka would be getting to his father, and eyes would go glazy, blurry. Be brave, Yuri, be brave. And the lecture would be over. His father would be tired of talking and just sit and think. He wouldn't even notice when Yuri left to take the bus back to his mother's apartment in the old city. Part 1.
Thank you very much, Bill. And the remaining people in our audience are not participants, but listeners, which is always a good thing. But we do have one more person to close the open mic, which would be James Van Loy, if he's there. Yep, I see the edge of his hat. Sticking his hat out to see if it's safe to come out. It's never safe to come out, James, but we're glad when you do.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chad. It was Veterans Day yesterday, 11 the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. So the Veterans for Peace have a thing saying that um, Veterans Day should be Armistice Day again, because that's what it was originally called. And of course, I think it was when they did a whole thing like prayer day and putting God into the Pledge of Allegiance and whatnot at the same time that they took the Department of War and made it to the Department of Defense. Uh, um, they turned Armistice Day into Veterans Day because they had another World War. So anyway, this is my poem. Veterans Day must be Armistice Day again. Up a mystery dark stairwell, in the light of attic dormer, was the World War I kit of our great uncle, Sidney Taylor Carter, wounded in action 6 days before the 11th hour, 11th day of the 11th month, 1918. We never met him because Mom said he was never the same. And unable to hold down a job, he lived on small farms, first down in Virginia and then near Akron, Ohio. That attic was on Townsend Street in East Detroit, which I came to associate with the Townsend X, which helped to lead the way to the crisis of 1776 when Sidney's sixth great grandfather was just sure that Patrick Henry stole his thunder, liberty or death. But then his uncle had been out on the frontier with his militia guarding against the Indian raids during Bacon's Rebellion, just as his father, John Carter, the original immigrant of 1635, had to raise a militia to remove the Indians from land on the Chesapeake tip. His second son inherited it all to become the biggest man of the first colonial-born clique faction, so they called him King Carter, probably the richest man in all America then, with 333,000 acres and 1,000 slaves, except in 1862, his great-great-grandson was killed, urging on his troops in front of Williamsburg at Fort Magruder near Carter's Grove. Now, as the country is racked with racist mass murders and each anti-democratic part of our 18th century Constitution is deployed by billionaires with more money than common sense, I remember victory at sea when my uncle William Tyler Carter joined the Merchant Marine with tankers flaming the North Atlantic, When now the scientists tell us we have only a dozen years to lower the carbon pollution warming the planet, when the U.S. military is the greatest institutional source of that pollution. And the face of my youngest grandchild sits always beside me as I think and think about the forever war that has been my life since Armistice Day became Veterans Day after the Korean ceasefire in 1953, when we had been financing the French in Indochina almost since I was born, and the CIA coup in Iran had just taken place, and the CIA coup in Guatemala was still being planned. And I think and I pray, when, oh when, will Veterans Day become Armistice Day again? Oh, 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 yes, he's the great projector, projecting what he can do well. His need is such, he projects too much. He's alone, so no one can tell. Oh, 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 yes, he's a great projector, adrift in a world of his own. He makes the game so he'll never feel any shame. So we left him to project all alone, to realize this feeling of make believe, to real what he feels, what his heart conceals. Oh yes, he's a great projector, laughing and fey like a clown. He seems to be what he's not. You see, he's spitting his heart like a sword, projecting, but we're not around. And quit the empire.
Sadly, it's not quitting us. Thank you very much, James. That was wonderful. Thank you for the open. Thank you all for the open mic. Thank you all for being in the audience. And we have our feature tonight. That's right. Damn you for all forgetting. I thought I was just going to close off, but no, we have an important figure in the New England poetry scene. He's been host, co-host, organizer, performer, tour, anything you can imagine. And now I'm going to read the official bio before I screw things up like I did in the original introduction in the beginning of this damn video. Rick McIntyre. When in doubt, always read the boilerplate the author gives you. Rick McIntyre is an actor, content writer, historian, and amateur expert on Lizzie Borden and the famous murders. He is currently the senior tour guide of the Borden House in Fall River, Mass, and an amateur paranormal investigator as well. Yes, the Lizzie Borden House is haunted. He is also a published author and performance poet with decades of experience. No amateur there, surely. Tonight, he's going to be that. Ladies and gentlemen, the hero we need in the era nobody asked for. He's here with us tonight. Put your hands together 30 to 45 times. That includes all those of you out there watching in Facebook land for Rick McIntyre.
Sort of like the original interview, the hero we don't need, that you're going to get anyway. Thanks for asking me to read, Chad, and it's really nice to see so many people I remember from long ago. I'll start off with this poem. It's called The Crazy Leap of Faith. You know the sound a straitjacket makes when the safety straps slip? I know, and that was just our first kiss. We knew it would be crazy, knew the risk. To get involved like this, we'd have to disagree to agree with the voices in our head that sentence us to solitary and do something really crazy like not listen to them. Set ourselves loose enough to measure the space it takes to live happy with one last leap of faith. Fortunately, you've got good, strong legs for jumping, and I'm pretty sure my brain is a helicopter. We can do this. Too many people zone themselves off for their own protection. They build lives according to blueprints for misery, becoming monuments to alone when they don't have to be. There is always some place beyond our tenuously held borders where the rooftops reach out with the same promise the sky gives to fledglings. You can go anywhere in this world you want. All you have to do is trust in something you can't see or touch and jump. It only sounds impossible if you get weighed down in whether it's possible. Now, we've both had some bad falls, and there's no shame there. So even after I take the leap and you're scared, still stuck back there on the rooftop saying, I love you, but I don't dare, and I can't get hurt again. You better go on without me. And I say, baby, I'd be crazy to leave you. And I'm crazy now. So if I leave, two crazies cancel each other out. I end up sane, and if I end up sane, I will go fucking crazy. Got a better idea. I've got a flashlight in my pocket and a joke I stole from a Batman comic. I've studied physics by watching Bugs Bunny cartoons. This can work. I'm going to turn the flashlight on and put it at the roof's edge. Don't you see? You can just walk across the light beam and you say, whoa, I may be crazy, but I'm not stupid. You'll just turn the flashlight off when I'm halfway there. I say, no, baby. I may be crazy, but it's not bad crazy. And the healthiest diagnosis I ever got was I have you. Love isn't a cure for itself, but it can be our invisible friend. It's got soft walls to bounce off of. It's our best medicine. With love, you can jump buildings. Today, standing here, maybe we are 25 cents short of a dime, but we are fully invested in this crazy leap of faith called us. Haven't our dreams fallen short long enough? And I understand you need to hear the word promise. I promise. If the jump scares you because the distance wears you down like the meds, borrow my whirlybird brain and fly across. That way you know I'm committed too. Give up if you need to. I won't give up on you. I won't let you fall, not when a whole new city is possible for us. And hey, if the bad, crazy train comes to town, fuck it, get on the bus. Trust me and jump. I will catch you. Why do you think the straitjacket has such long sleeves? And you won't believe the view once you get over your fear. I swear, baby, you can see our house from here. Thank you. So that's what that is. This is the poem I love reading to young children. By that I mean young poets. The curmudgeon's alphabet. A is for A, as in fucking A, that crap you kids call music sucks. B is for bed. I like my naps. C is for colonoscopy. Don't laugh. When you get older, you'll get your turn. D is for dentures, as in, I can bite myself in the head. Want to see? Yeah, I didn't fucking think so. E is for energy. You kids have it, I don't. How is that fair? F is for four, as in, for God's sake, turn down that crap you call music. G is for get, as in, hey, look, there's a place called Off My Lawn. Get there. H is for many things, all of them medical, none of them attractive. I is for me, as in, I think that crap you kids call music makes me crazy. J is for juvenile. You don't know how juvenile you can be until you get older. K is for the fact that C needs help with hard consonant sounds. That happens when you get older too. L is for lawn, as in, get off my. M is for memory. L is for lawn. Hey, hi there. N is for noise. which would be that crap you kids listen to. O is for, oh God, you're not going to listen to that crap again. P is for, please God, make it stop. Q is for queen and queer and quintessence, and you see a quintessential query into memory queerly hasn't quit quite yet. Punk. R is for remember. Age and treachery will always beat youth and enthusiasm. S is for simility. L is for lawn. Hi. T is for temper. Just try me, punk. Step on my lawn one more time. U is for urethra. I never knew how important the damn thing was till recently. V is for Viagra. Old age still fucking sucks, but now you can fucking suck old age. WXYZ is for the rest of the alphabet because I'm goddamn tired. Now turn down that crap you kids call music and get off my lawn. Thank you. This is called Story. And it's got a quote beforehand by Ralph Marston. Every time you complain, you create more to complain about. Every time you feel sorry for yourself, you give yourself even more reasons to feel sorry. Life does not throw negative things your way. Life throws all sorts of varied and diverse things your way, and you often choose to interpret them negatively. I live beside a river. I don't know why, but this makes me unhappy. Maybe it's the noise of water on stone, or else it is how the river flows towards the west and will not even stop and discuss the subject of maybe changing its mind. There are fish in this river. Damn it, there is never an apple or a sandwich. The water is colder than it needs to be, and it hides its face behind a mirror image of the sky. It thinks it can fool me. I have thrown rocks at it until my arms ached, my land empty of rocks. The river never slowed for the time it took the ripples to disappear. It never stopped singing, never stopped being a river. I slept from frustration, and the river took that away. The sound is not unpleasant, this water on stone. The same music will sound different tomorrow. Only an idiot would look for sandwiches there. All right, what's the next one? Okay, this for the lovers that waited in vain for me to return from the sea. I am sorry you fell in love with someone who wasn't there most of the time. Buried too deep in myself, needing substances to bring me back up to human. Those bad habits meant more than you did every time the choice arose. You said you loved me, but I was never in those photos of us. Just someone that looked like me, sounded like me, and took to the drink when it was offered and also took to the drink when it wasn't. Drowning in escape, doomed every time I looked deep at those pictures. I still drowned. I just didn't go anywhere. There's going to be a couple of depressing poems in a row. I know, at a poetry reading. Oh. This is called Sometimes Impossible is Only What You Cannot Believe. And I wrote it about one of my favorite animals, which is the okapi of the Congo in Africa. The first recorded image of an okapi is from a facade of the Apadana of Persepolis, 5th century BCE. Even though Europeans refused to believe it existed until the late 19th century. The okapi wasn't hard fact afterwards, any more than it was soft rumors for the years of being hidden away from view before official recognition. May 10th, 1970 is a world away from 1887, just as the Congo is from 5th century Persepolis. But strange creatures do whatever is necessary to survive, despite distances between belief. A young boy in America in the 60s who didn't like sports as much as breathing was a strange unknown. Unbelievable. I knew my adopted father felt this way. So I tried my best to show fake interest that looked real, just like Dad did with me. So there I was at that epic moment in history, the last game of the 1970 Stanley Cup Finals, and Bobby Orr made flying real enough for long enough to place the championship winning goal. So excited to see my father be proud of someone. I wanted that. I raised my Okapi toy, said, "That's as impossible as they used to think Okapi was." His face fell. He looked at me, had no idea what I was. So while we're doing depressing poems, let's do another one. This one you might have heard. This is an old one. The Awful Potential. Don't tell me the sins of the father are visited upon the son. I know this. It is my story, full of the hatred of the frightened. Have you heard them cry of my awful potential? And did they call me Frankenstein's monster? Well, they are liars. They lie. My name is Adam, and I am not lovable. I am too unsettling to look at. My skin is not like yours, the living, and I am a stitched puzzle to God. My flat skull, they say, is because God looked down at me and said, "Man is capable of right and wrong, but this is what all mankind's sins look like given a shape. This, a sin so original in hubris, there was no plan for its punishment. This, God said, is not mine." Well, let God hate me. I never asked to be born. But assembled into this world, all I wanted were the same answers, same questions as anyone. Who am I? Why am I here? I was no miracle of motherless birth. I was a mistake stolen into being. Lightning in my blood. They still call my father the modern Prometheus, and that is truer than they know. Prometheus was a thief too. Rejected from his love, I wandered by night and deep forest. No one would believe me if I told them the story of the girl I found kneeling in a field picking flowers. My heart was moved. I didn't know I had one. So unafraid, she smiled at me, and all my strength went weak. We threw flowers into the stream, laughing as they swirled, until someone in her family screamed, and out came the villagers, all torch and pitchfork, one of them, all of them howling of my awful potential, of these arms that could break them, a body with no use for blood, a thing that feared nothing about them except fire. So it was behind fire they found their courage and came for me. And as they drove me back, I saw deep inside them, saw the truth in their eyes. They dream and wish for miracles and immortality. But they are the children of Cain. They will kill me because that is what they do. Then again, these are the people who worship a God that let his own son die just to prove a point, a God that named every angel he watched burn. In great irony, they drove me back home to my father's castle, where I was the shape of all his sins revisiting, came back as the hand at his throat. And I think of the villagers, how they keep hate holy. And I think of my father and everything born of his science and mad resolve. And I look right into the eyes of God, and that's when I know there is an awful potential behind all of this, but it is not in me. Thank you. This is the Title poem of a recent chapbook, Pain Scale for Fossils. This is for anyone out there dealing with chronic pain. The first thing the nurses ask, are you in pain today? And can you give it a number from 1 to 10? And I want to tell them this is stupid. Our numbers are not the same. Instead, I say a dull 12, a sharp 25, 100 and fuck you, 200 and fang. Let me explain. Pain level of 1. This is both of us waking to feel this way, but what you call a sick day, I call good morning. Let me put on this body, this curse of meat, this prison made of myself. Pain level 2. Good morning. It is going to rain. I know this. Pain forecasts itself, births itself, a phoenix that never ashes into relief. Pain is a place that keeps discovering me. My doctors and I examine charts, discuss excavations. I know my body is a ruined temple because my doctor will only speak to me in dead languages. Level 3. Good morning. It's gonna rain, but this burns cold. New pain is at least a change. Level 4. I'm starting to lose my shape from the rain. Words sound stupid. Shit just hurts. Pain level 5. This is the unsure Rubicon lurking in the everyday, the tipping point between must I return to bed or can I keep walking in the rain? Level 6. It is raining, or always raining, or going to, or threatening. My to-do lists are written in wish pencil. They have learned not to get their hopes up. Level 7. 18 years ago, this pain kept me in bed 20 hours a day. Today, my body is heavy with coping strategies. The pain settles, fossils and geologies under pressure. Someday, 7 will be my favorite lost world. Pain level 8. Good morning. It is raining tyrannosaurs and they're on fire. Yes, I use medical marijuana. No, I don't have any extra. Level 9. Rain as doomsayer, as oracle that spits one word, pain. Rain as a banshee with teeth made from this isn't gonna get better. Today, rain. Every day, rain. A life downpoured. I lied. I'm not at pain level 9. I was already 4 points down before I started telling you all this. Pain level value of 10. The joke of 2 digits is thinking that is any kind of limit. Forecast calls for rain today, all day. 100% chance of rain tomorrow. So, boy, let's read a not depressing poem before I'm responsible for suicide or something. This poem started not as so much a poetry prompt, but well, I took it as a prompt. A friend of mine posted something about slam poets, and he was like, slam poets always want to talk about the big issues, war and racism and all the big, fists in the air issues. What happened to poets writing about a praying mantis or a walnut tree or a typewriter? So this is for Tony Brown, the praying mantis that saved a walnut tree with a typewriter. Haiku, it thought, head twisted sideways, and faster than you just missed it. Raptorial legs snatch precise elements out of the air, leaving nothing of a wake. There are words, and there are no words, and then there are words. Mantis considers his brief existence under a walnut tree. Every day, Mantis continues taking words out of thin air, making poetry and leaving no ripple, no proof it was ever there after typewriter goes quiet. Tree remains. Tree knows Mantis could have chosen any tree anywhere except events happened as they did. Typewriter sounds incorporate into bark, grow into the small memories of details. There was a mantis. There is no mantis. There is a tree that knows what a poem feels. All right. Um, this is another disability poem, and this is, well, you'll find out what this is about. It's called Thankful for Nothing. You know, it's so damn easy to be truly grateful for all my blessings, but sometimes I forget to have gratitude for the things that are not and never were, and so may they never be. I'm grateful for every stupid dickhead that did not cross my path today. A weird looking mole that isn't on my cheek. Thank you for the inoperable face cancer that you are not. Oh, not out of control city bus. Thank you for not hopping the curb and smushing me. I'm grateful for every past lover who were not serial killers. And I'm grateful the question never came up in conversation. It would have been awkward. So when I first grew sick, when all this beauty grew disability, I had to learn how to be grateful for endless medical tests that told me nothing, but eliminated a host of cancers, entire alphabets of hepatitis and diseases even worse. I was grateful for every test that turned a negative into a positive. I am grateful for every illness that isn't what's killing me slowly. And what is killing me slowly? Thank you. Take your time. Don't rush for me. See, if I had never gotten sick, I never would have learned that to advocate for myself or that thrill you get when you fire your first doctor. And I've stopped apologizing for being disabled. When people ask, because they always do, why do you walk with a cane? I say, well, if I didn't, it would have a hell of a time getting around by itself. Or if I'm not in the mood, I just say, shark attack. You happy now? And walk away. Thank you, unhappy accidents, for all the near misses I never saw coming. For every shark that swam past in the night and kept on swimming, every guardian angel I wore down to the wing nubs. I am grateful for the meteor that wasn't the size of Nebraska and didn't hit the earth today, ending all life. Thank you, luck of the draw, skin of my teeth. Thank you, wire, for letting me under one more time. Thank you, Facebook, for not causing face cancer. I don't know if that's real. I hope. I'm on Facebook a lot. This is my song of gratitude to all creation for the loopholes and small odds in my favor, for every bad thing that could have happened today and didn't. Oh Lord, just for today, let me be thankful for nothing. Got time for two more? Okay. This was another poetry prompt. I'm not remembering the exact poetry prompt, so instead of wasting time, I'll just read you the poem. The God of the Forgotten Gods. When entities have become forgotten, become lost and unfriended, they come to me. In the days before, this was a ritual of certainty and surrender. So many God stories are about the ending of things. If you're going to choose only one belief about gods, choose this. Not a single human knows anything. No one has ever begotten an accurate description. They get it wrong. With a single fabric unweaving inconsistency, the well rounded, fantastic, and true religion is revealed for what it is: a child's drawing of the indescribable. Usually superheroes of some kind who are better, kinder, or not. Some are just bigger, and all children know this. The biggers can push the smaller of them down because they can. Of course, they worship that. Gods and heavens don't exist unless they do. That's as accurate as any anthology or liturgy gets. But what happens to discarded works of men? Where do old gods go to die in quiet isolation? They come to me, Preservatus, the god of the forgotten gods. They come because I remember their names when names die, remember their high holy days, remember the sacrifices they favored, know the essence that a litany of voices is crucial to maintain. I mean, I bring them meals and sing songs only they and I still remember the words to. for as long as they can yet hold their shape. Afterwards, I put them to sleep in grounds beyond the reach of prayer and supplication, a place where the gods are safe from men. Thanks. I've got one last poem, and thank you all so much for this opportunity. And oh, let's see, wrong book. There's a story I love telling to people in the context of recovery. A lot of people get really bothered by drinking dreams, which are, really very normal in early sobriety, and they can still happen, years and years and years into it. And so this is the poem I wrote about that. It's called Another War at Its End. When the rest of the world moved on in 1945, Hiru Onada did not know the war was over. He was given supplies and ammunition and this final instruction: defend Lubang Island, keep a close eye on the Americans. Do this faithfully till you hear orders otherwise that come directly from me. With that, his commanding officer, Major Taniguchi, left him behind with this important job to carry out. And Lieutenant Onada did that one task for 30 years. He didn't know that World War II was long over, that he didn't have to fight anymore. Every time I have a drinking dream, I think about Lieutenant Onada. It's funny how the human mind works, but I have one brain cell at least dedicated to recalling his name and story. And I'm not upset about drinking dreams because they are dreams and do not count as real-world relapses. Perhaps another brain cell, loyal to a fault, was obviously ordered once to watch guard over a vital pipeline, to make sure I had uninterrupted supply of alcohol always available should it ever be needed, and it always was, every day. Like Onada, this brain cell clings to its last order given to make sense of a changing world that left it behind by refusing to give up its fight. When outsiders came to the island, Onada fired at them, the war still on as far as he knew. Authorities had to fly the retired Major Taniguchi there so Lieutenant Onada could hear the order from him directly. Onada handed over his sword, his Arasaka rifle, the ceremonial dagger his mother gave him to use should he ever be in danger of capture. But he never was. He surrendered instead with no shame. It was 1974. At long last, his war was finally over. So on the mornings when I've finally shaken off the panicked false shame of a dream drink that never happened, I tell that brain cell, thank you. You had one job and you did it well. But now it is time for you to stop fighting, to leave the pipeline behind. It is time to come back home. Trust that this order to surrender comes directly from me. Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Keep the hands going virtually, visually, emoticonically. That's a word I made up. Whatever for Rick McIntyre. Um, and I just love it kind of brings us full circle to this horrid year that you were reading from The Man in the Door, your collection that came out through our mutual friend in poetry, the late Jeff Taylor. Um, I'm glad you read from that. That was especially appropriate for this year. Hopefully, we can get you down to Malden for the controversy. You should talk to Anna Jeffrey. I'm sure they'd love to have you. Any other collections in place? I'd love to grab that chapbook on the chronic pain.
Yeah, Pain Scale for Dinosaurs is available. The other two books are out of print, so of course I read more poems from them because I suck at marketing. I'll send Chad my address. The books are available for $8, $2 shipping and handling. So 8 and 2 makes 10.
Sounds great. That's fantastic. I would love to grab a copy of that. I would assume Man in the Door is available through Jeff's Family, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go look on the website.
Yeah.
Something to look at. But a books and collections you can grab from Rick online through Amazon or the Ether or whatever book site there is. I'm sure there's a few. Definitely grab them. And that was just fantastic. I'm so glad that we got this for. It's a great antidote before the great Thanksgiving that so many of us are dreading with families. So thank you so much.
Sure.
Definitely a tonic to take in advance of the in advance for the next 2 weeks. And in case those of you who aren't around the next couple of weeks, good luck to you for that holiday, and good luck as we move through the rest of the year. Hopefully, many of you can come back to see us. Hopefully, hopefully this is not the end. Hopefully, this year, the next year, we'll hopefully be able to announce, and even before the end of the year, we might be able to announce a live gathering. I would love that. And stay tuned to Stone Soup Poetry News for that. We definitely have some options. We have some poets coming into the town that would love to be part of that. I'll let you know more when I know more. Right now, I don't know much, but for those of you who are local, I'll let you know. But thank you once again to Rick. You can send me all that information, and I will share it with the on Facebook for those of you who want to grab your books. And if you have a Venmo just for tips, or a Kofi, or whatever they call,
Yeah.
or a Venmo, what have you, or a PayPal, let us know that as well. And you can send that to us via text also, so it doesn't have to be
Okay.
right now. But with the obligatory wave, me from hell, you whatever personal heavens or hells or havens or sanctuaries you come from, I wish you guys the best. This is Stone Soup Poetry. Somehow it still survives, and you guys help make that happen. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the week. Try to enjoy the rest of the year. Keep going. That's what they don't want us to do. Could be like this every week. All we need is you. Come back soon. Show's over. See you next time.
Take care. Thanks, everyone.